Yeah.
Sorry, that is not. Okay, I think we did it. So I'm going to hit record. And welcome to the Awakening Together Sanctuary for Helen Hamilton's monthly program in the Company of Truth. And let me spotlight you, Helen, and we'll get going. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again for having me here in the sanctuary. And I can't believe it's been a month already. Happy New Year to everyone. And I hope that you had a peaceful, restful time over the holiday period. And what feels intuitive right now is to just dive into some meditation together to start off our session together here today. So we're just going to do a really quite simple meditation, which we can't really get wrong, so we can relax. There's no goal for the meditation, just to notice that about ourselves, which is real, that which is always here, that which is aware and awake to the world, to our experience. There's something always watching, no matter what is going on, what is being watched. There's something always here and peaceful and free already. I'm just going to bring some attention to that. We're not fighting with anything that arises in our experience when we meditate together. We're simply going to notice them and then notice that something is watching, something's aware, awake to that, whatever it is. So some thoughts come up, we can let them arise, and we don't even need to push anything away. It's not the goal to quieten the mind or anything like that here. We can just notice whatever arises, thoughts, sounds in our environment, sensations in our body, emotions, memories, desires, whatever it is that arises, and we'll just come back and notice that something is aware of them, something is awake, watching already. We couldn't notice these thoughts, these phenomena, and all of it if there wasn't something already watching. So let's just begin by finding a nice comfortable position, however you can get comfy for 15 or 20 minutes. We'll meditate together. You can close your eyes if you want to, but you don't have to. And we can begin by just taking a few nice conscious breaths where we're just perhaps just inhaling and exhaling a little more fully, a little more deeply at our own pace. So just taking a nice breath in and out when you're ready. And we can just segue into the meditation by noticing something is awake already to the breath moving, to these words, to whatever is going on in your experience. Something about you is already awake and aware. So there's something noticing, something here already that's noticing. Just bringing attention to that. Something is already here, watching, noticing, awake to see whatever arises in our experience. It's quiet and in the background of our experience, but it is here. It's just you. You are awake to these words, to how your body feels, any sensations or sounds going on. Just noticing that you're already awake to them. There's nothing to do here, not trying to change anything that we experience. Whatever arises, you can let it come and go. Simply noticing the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations, and noticing there's something awake and watching already that is you. You are aware. So at if any point your attention wanders away with some thoughts or memories, we can simply notice those thoughts, memories, sensations, and then notice that there's something watching. We can even use whatever's arising to reaffirm that there's something here that is already awake, already conscious, already free. We're simply preferring to bring attention more to what is watching, what is noticing. Not letting it linger so much on thoughts, sensations, phenomena. What if the purpose of phenomena were simply to help you recognize yourself as this which is awake and aware? Whatever we experience, there is something that sees it, something that is just noticing and not doing. Resting here, where there is nothing that needs to happen. Just this peaceful awakeness, just this peaceful noticing. There's nothing to achieve here in this meditation, nothing to fix, nothing to undo, only to notice that which is always here, quietly in the background, just watching, seeing whatever arises and falls away in front of it. If your attention has wandered away from the watching to some thoughts or some sounds in your environment, just gently bring it back to notice that which is noticing. And so, in a few moments, we'll bring our meditation to a close. But as always, we can set the intention first that we become more aware of this, that is, awake to all phenomena, that we become more awake to that which is already awake and free right now, that we strive less and struggle less and recognize more that which is already here. So whenever you are ready, and only if you want to, you can open your eyes, have a move around, have a stretch. If you want to, have a drink, take a moment. So I hope that you enjoyed the meditation. Felt nice just to sit together, to be together, to notice that which is already here about us, that which is the same no matter what it's awake to. What it watches changes, but it itself is not changing. It's permanent, stable awakeness, awareness, consciousness, whatever word that we like to put to that, which has no name. So I thought if anyone has any questions or anything they'd like to share, or any challenges that you're having right now in your awakening journey, please feel free to raise your hand here on Zoom, or feel free to unmute, and we'll have a conversation, a chat, and see what we can uncover together. Grace, yeah. Hi, love.
Thank you for this meditation.
You're welcome.
I just maybe to clarify something. So, like, whenever you say like, so it's like trying to pay attention to that or to focus on that which is aware. By default, it feels like there is two. There is me and that which is aware. Like it feels like there is some effort. Um, just trying to look at that. I'm not that.
Yeah. It's normal, right? At first, we all feel, and for me, for a long time, it felt like there was a me and awareness, or whatever word we're using, and something trying to reach awareness. It was very, very, a lot of efforting going on. But even that, we're just aware of, right? That which is trying and struggling and striving. There's something aware even of that, isn't there? Something notices that. Even this sense of a person that's trying to do a lot or trying to get to awareness can be just another phenomenon that we're using to notice awareness is already here. Something watches even this effort, this struggle.
Can we even replace the word like something is watching, because just like, because if it's space, I don't know how space will watch. It's just the space will just hold, right? Something also, is it about language for me that it feels a little bit sometimes tricky?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever the formlessness is, it is seeing. It is not something that is seeing. It is seeingness itself. It is watchingness itself. The
Okay.
intelligence, the form is what's seeing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's helpful, because once you say it's seeing, by default, I'm seeing something. So, but if it's just a verb like seeing, uh,
Yeah.
uh,
No seer, nobody seeing or watching, just whatever this is that we are is just awake and aware, isn't it already? Its very nature is to see, to notice. That's all it can do.
but again, when you say notice, see, or notice what? That's create a phenomenon, a duality right away, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, it seems like it, but if we just notice now, something here is aware of these words, right? Something is aware of this conversation. It can be equally aware of the sounds that these bodies are making as it is aware of no sound.
I don't know why there's some tension here trying to get to
It's okay.
understand this.
Yeah, it's okay. This conversation is productive and enjoyable. We can take a breath and just see where it goes. Yeah.
Maybe I think it's more helpful if I when maybe I heard you not in another context say something like what is being seen or perceived is also that. So it's not like I'm seeing something else.
Yeah. That becomes clearer that even when I think I'm seeing or noticing thoughts or outside phenomena, that that's not really the case. This watchingness, this seeingness is only seeing itself in disguise. All these forms are itself in disguise. And that becomes clearer over time. What is seen and what is seeing are the same thing.
Yeah, so there is nothing, two things. It's only one thing shape shifting into two things.
Yeah, apparently two things. It can stay in its unmanifest aspect. That's what we're noticing when we're recognizing that which we are. And then it can also seem to manifest into this whole world of forms. But it hasn't really changed, just like a wave on the ocean surface arising hasn't changed the ocean, or a shape appearing in a cloud. Cloud suddenly looks like a tiger or an elephant, and yet it's still just a cloud, isn't it? Nothing's really happened.
So what is now trying to understand is the mind. So when we say that awakening is for the mind, is it true to say this? Awakening is for the mind or from the mind? Because it looks like the mind will have some level of understanding, but then it's about letting go of that, the mind.
For me, it was helpful to keep seeing what is seeing, to keep noticing there's something here that I've just called I or me, and that it's not a person. I can check that out. It's not an object. It's some formless, unmanifest watchingness, we could say. And as I notice that again and again and again, then it becomes clearer that there isn't a separate person. There's just this that's watching, and it is everywhere. And all apparent things that we think we're interacting with, thoughts, emotions, tables, chairs, people, planets, are just things that seem to be arising in this. They don't have an independent existence of their own. And we can check this out. Next time a thought arises, we can see, where does that watchingness stop and the thought begin? Is there really two things here? You know, when we really look, we can't actually find a boundary. We find that the thought must be the same thing as what is watching the thought. The same watchingness appearing as either form or formlessness. There's no division there, right? There's just peace.
I think for me, it's just navigating the language of how this is being communicated. Sometimes it might, is it okay? It can be helpful if I switch seeing with being.
Absolutely. That's why I use so many words to
Right.
describe whatever it is, because not every word or name fits with every person, so or not every body mind. Whatever word works for you. Sometimes consciousness, that word worked better for me because I was able to see that that which is formless is where the intelligence is. The intelligence isn't in the forms, it's before the forms. That what looks like empty space is actually intelligently watching. That's a revelation for us, isn't it, when that becomes clear?
Mm.
Yeah. So whatever word works for you is absolutely fine.
Just last thing to say, what do you think about when because there is a teacher who keeps saying something that it's all language, it's all language. So if we remove all the language, which is also, it can be mental language, if we remove all the language, that's it. So
I can't really comment on other teachers really that I haven't experienced, but for me, yeah, if I didn't know the name or label of anything, even awareness, even those words, if I didn't know the name of anything at all, there'd be this curiosity about even the everyday objects that I seem to be perceiving. I wouldn't know what they are. There'd be a deep curiosity, a deep wonder. And that's it. That's what we are. But also the words too. Also the words and the labels are just forms arising from it. Yeah. At first it's easier to kind of sometimes to negate all the labels, and what is left without any labeling is just this quietness. But then also including the names and labels back into that, yeah. As being non-different, non-separate to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wonderful conversation. Thanks, love. Olivera? Hi, love.
Hello, Helen. Can you hear me well?
I can, thank you.
Thank you. Um, I, um, I have no money to go on retreats. I even don't have any money to become a Helen Hamilton Sangha member. And so I feel that I can't make it if I am not included in those happenings.
Can that be true? Can that really be true? Can something cause you to not wake up? If all that's happening is that we're seeing who we already are, then certain classes, books, retreats, teachers might seem to speed that process up or make it easier, less suffering along the way. But we've got to be very careful not to believe that anything can stop us from awakening. Yeah. You are the infinite formless consciousness already, and nothing in this world at all can stop it from recognizing itself when it wants to. I used to believe that I had to be able to go to sit with a teacher or, all of that to actually be with a teacher to wake up to truth. And it just isn't true at all. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And if finances are an issue, then please just email in, because we do give some scholarships for people joining the community if they have some financial difficulties. So, please get in touch. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good to talk to you, love. Thank you. Wonderful. Amna?
Hello.
Hi, love.
So I'm like relatively new to your teaching, so I've been listening to like YouTube videos and stuff. And I wanted to ask you about, like, from what I understood from what I heard so far is that like external challenges or like illnesses with the body are a reflection of like held beliefs that are not true.
Yeah.
So it's been like I've been having challenges with, like the one I want to talk to you about is like my family. And it seems every time like I've overcome something, like a new thing comes in, like that's so like unexpected and came out of nowhere. And like I'm getting tired of like being in that cycle and the pain of that.
Yeah.
And I'm also like very aware of like the underlying beliefs that I'm like attached to, of like it's not possible to have what I want.
Mm.
I'm not deserving. And I've tried to like detach from, and I'm not safe is one of my favorites too.
It was mine for sure. Yep.
Um, so is there something that could like help speed this up, or?
Have you tried some contemplation with those beliefs from the emotions? Do you know the contemplation technique?
Yeah, I have.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I have, because like I'm not sure if you're familiar with the work of Byron Katie.
A little bit, yeah.
So I have
A
a lot
lot.
of experience with that. It's
It,
very,
it is important to recognize there is a difference between contemplation and Byron Katie's work. It works in a very different way. So, for me, I did follow Byron Katie for a while, and it really did help. But there was an underlying thing in my thought process that contemplation really helped me to see, to be free of these things once and for all. That is the cause and effect thinking that we tend to hold on to. So, for example, the situation going on with your family is causing you to feel a certain way inside, a certain emotion. And that would be how most people would think, and how I used to think. Or, I don't feel safe because I don't have enough money, for example. Or there's some diagnosis in my body, for example. But it cannot be true that, because if there's only one being showing up as all of these bodies, thoughts, emotions, objects, subtle and gross tangible objects, then there can't be one thing causing another thing. That would be two substances. Two substances. So we need to look at this again and again, because we're so used to saying, I'm scared because, and I'm scared or I'm angry because of this thing or this person. Really, the emotion is just there and showing us a belief underneath. You pointed to some of those beliefs. I'm not safe, for example. But it's only when I started to realize that cause and effect thinking cannot be true that things really began to change. And the contemplation that we do really was effective. The other thing I'd suggest also is, let's say, for example, we're contemplating this belief, is it true I'm not safe? Then we can begin to see in our contemplation that it's not true, that I am safe, have always been safe, as we look at this belief each day. But then we go back to looking at our experience, and we look at our experience and we say, see, nothing is changing. So we are the formless infinite consciousness. And yet we're looking to manifestation. We're looking to the forms to tell us how we're doing. What that means is, I can see in my self-inquiry and my practice that I'm not a taller person. I'm not really a separate being. I'm already free. I can see that in my inquiry as it goes deeper. But then if I look at my experience I'm having with another being or something, the very next moment, I might feel limited or blocked by someone in my life. Can I look at phenomena, at forms at all, to see how I'm doing in my awakening? If I am formless, can you use any experience that's going on in your life or has happened in your life to reference how we're doing in our awakening? It's a big thing we're talking about here, right? So I would inquire, contemplate, see that I am safe, but then I'd look at my financial situation and say, it hasn't changed yet. It's not working. I'm obviously not awakened enough yet. But I had to come to realize that if I am first and foremost the formlessness, the unmanifest, the unborn, undying awareness, can I look at what's being born and dying and use that as reliable evidence to tell me anything about me? It's like the ocean trying to see, define itself by the waves on the surface. The ocean's going to think it's coming and going and rising and falling, right? It's going to continue. Why can't I stop being a wave, it will say. So I don't know if anything I'm saying here is helping, but for me, the fundamental shift was in realizing I have to stop using my experience. I'm not ignoring my experience. If I'm having an argument with someone, of course I want to sort it out. Or if I don't have enough money, I want to get enough to make sure I'm able to function. But I can't use those experiences or anything at all, actually, from the phenomenal world to talk to me about me, the formlessness. Can you see that loop that we get stuck in?
So I just want to reflect back to see if I understood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it backwards because from what I remember. So like the first invitation is to recognize the truth of who I am, which is not the form.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second invitation is to do the contemplation. And then you said the distinction between the contemplation and the work is the like breaking the cause and effect.
Because I can see enough times, I can see over and over again, and I did, that I'm formless and free and infinite and one being. I came to see that very, very clearly over the time I was working with contemplation, meditation, self-inquiry. Then my very next thought was in duality in terms of cause and effect, this thing and that thing, one thing causing another. My whole thought process was in duality. So I wasn't able to live from that place until I really saw the fundamentals of nothing can be causing anything else. I'm not scared because I'm just scared. There's no external cause for my emotion, for example.
How does contemplation help you help with that?
If we question, let's take the example of fear, safety, because that's what we were talking about. If I ask, is it really true I'm not safe? And I ask that and allow all the answers that come, like we do each day for 5 to 10 minutes. And then over 30 days, I start to feel more peace, more relaxation. Maybe the emotion of fear hasn't gone completely, but it's just another answer in my contemplation. And the money situation is, again, I'm not suffering while it's going on. Contemplation then shows us that the belief I'm not safe and the emotion of fear and the money situation are one substance showing up 3 different ways. The formless consciousness presence showing up as a belief, an emotion, and an outer world situation. It becomes clear as we contemplate this, a thought, an emotion, and a physical thing. Normally our mind would say that those are 3 different things. A thought is a thought, a belief, I'm not safe. And the emotion of fear is something completely different. And then the lack of money is something completely different. One's a thought, one's an emotion, one's a physical thing. But in contemplation, we come to see that as we question, is it really true I'm not safe? As we question the belief, the emotion and the situation change without us doing anything at all. We start to see that the inside world of thoughts and feelings and the outside world are the same thing, showing up different ways.
And it happens by itself because I guess I need to explore with it more.
These are good questions. It happens by itself because when we're questioning, challenging the beliefs rather than just agreeing with them, if we're not questioning, then we're automatically agreeing. If I'm not questioning, is it really true I'm not safe? Then I am agreeing I'm not safe, and my thoughts are so automatic about safety that I'm not even aware of them consciously. I only know I'm thinking them because of this fear, right? And whatever's going on in my experience. So it happens by itself. We don't do anything to change the money situation, or with working with fear, we feel the fear. But those begin to change. Our outside world and our emotional world begin to change just by questioning the belief. So we start to see, wait a minute, they're not actually separate. It's not that this thing out here is causing me to feel this way in here. It's like every karmic pattern has a thought form, a belief, also shows up as an emotion, and also shows up as a event in the world. Those are not three things. They're one substanceless substance showing up in three different ways. Now you've got it. You're smiling here.
Like kind of like water, vapor, ice.
Yep, exactly like that. And while it's like saying the water is causing the ice. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But that's what we're doing. Our thought process is so much rooted in duality and cause and effect thinking that it takes a little while to see that that cannot be true. And without that final understanding, I couldn't really let go of my beliefs because I was busy trying to fix the outside world. I'm busy trying to feel the fear in the hopes that it would go. But 6 years of fear, and still it was plentiful. But all that changed by itself as I started to question the belief. The fear was being generated as a reflection, a mirror image, or another way the belief was showing up.
And with the contemplation, because like in the work, for example, with is it true? The invitation is to answer with a yes or no only. So like with the contemplation, the invitation is to allow all answers to be answers and to be equal. So is
Yeah.
that part of welcoming all of it as equal?
Yeah, normally we give special preference to some answers. If we ask a question, is it really true I'm not safe? Probably the first thing that's going to be an answer is the mind says, absolutely true. Of course it's true. Have you seen your bank account lately? Or, this thing that's going on. And we would give special preference to emotional answers. Fear might be there as well. We say, this is real evidence that I'm not safe. But as we start to allow all answers, the dog barking outside, the feeling our body's making with the chair, sensation of breathing, someone talking in the next room, we start to live from the place of freedom, that which is equanimous with all answers, has the same, it's only the special answers we give special preference to thoughts and emotions. And yet there's this whole ocean of peace underneath those, and we just kind of constantly skimming along the surface, listening to the thought answers and the emotion answers. None of that is wrong, but it's not going to give us the deep peace because it doesn't show us who we really are. And if we're everywhere and infinite, the dog barking and the person talking in the next room is us also. So it's just as valid an answer. The chair that I'm sitting on is me. So it's just as valid an answer as a thought that says, I am safe or I'm not safe.
So the invitation of doing it for 30 days is to break that habit of giving preference to the very superficial.
Yeah, break the habits of listening to certain answers only and forming a habit of, which is the most important thing. If you take one thing away from this conversation, let it be this next thing. Contemplation works by forming a habit to automatically question if it's true rather than believe it. So every time fear arises, we see it must be this idea, I'm not safe. And we immediately question, is that really true? I'm not safe. So as soon as you have a habit formed to automatically question rather than believe, you cannot suffer ever again from that belief. And while even before the 30 days is up, while you're in open questioning of that idea, is this really true? You can't suffer in that moment because suffering is only from believing a thought, giving it a lot of attention.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful conversation. Thank you. Okay, and we'll finish with Linju. Hello.
Hi, Helen. Hi. I'm wondering if you can speak on the topic about addiction, addictive behavior.
Mm.
I have the tendency to watch a lot of TV series. Before, I stopped for a long time, but recently I started again.
Mm.
Like today, I spent 2 hours watching some stuff. I've been noticing the changes, like recently when I spend time on watching some TV series, like I experience less guilty, and sometimes I kind of like intellectually talk myself into this idea, like, okay, TV series, the addiction, it's also myself. It's not that bad, right? If I just experiencing myself in another form. So it's actually not that bad anymore. Like in a sense that I don't feel so much guilty. I did it, but I'm not so guilty anymore. But still, I'm wondering but I'm not able to consciously choose to stop watching it. Like when during the time, like I really wish I could like consciously choose to stop it. Okay, that's enough, or it's not worth spending so much time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit on it.
Yeah, addiction, for me, addicted to TV, to sugar, to food, alcohol at one point, eBay, you name it. There was a habit and other things, many other things. And even, notice an addiction to thinking. We all have this addiction to thinking, right? And as I started to look at it, I realized that I was actually trying to get something from those things. And sugar, alcohol, whatever we're addicted to Netflix or whatever, we're doing it for a certain feeling. When I do this, it gives me a feeling, right? It helps me to zone out for a while or feel better or feel really good, depending on whatever we're addicted to. But just for the short term, of course. For that time, there's less thinkingness going on. And you know yourself, if you watch a really good movie, you don't have one single thought the whole time. You're just like, what's going to happen next, And there's a break then in the egoic, the separate sense of self. It's not active for that time. Although sometimes it pops back in. You shouldn't be watching this. You should be doing something more productive. So the key for me was lay in finding what it was I was looking for from that activity. What is it about drinking a certain thing or watching a certain thing or eating a certain thing that makes it's a feeling, isn't it? And we've all been trained to try to feel a certain way by doing things on the outside. If I do this thing or become this thing or spend time with that person or watch this thing, I'll feel this certain way. These become problematic as we're waking up to the truth because there is no outside thing, such as TV, like you said, that is going to make us feel a certain way. So I had to start asking, what is it that I really want to feel? Peace. I want a sense of freedom, relaxation, joy. Okay, well, can I get that from outside, from other things? Has that ever really been true? Or is it that while I'm doing those things, I'm not constantly thinking? So I started to ask, if it was peace I was looking for, is it true it's not here right now, even? If I go to do something to make myself feel better, which is the root of all addiction, then I'm assuming that what I want isn't here already, and it doesn't seem here. We're looking for peace, it's not here right now, is the assumption that we make. So we start to ask, is that true? Before I do anything to become peaceful, let me see if peace isn't already here, or joy, or relief, or love, or freedom, or whatever, right? So looking at non-judgmentally, how do you feel when you're just chilling out watching TV? Probably more relaxed. Probably, less of a doer. And, so just looking, can I find those feelings inside myself from who I really am, rather than trying to get them from somewhere inwards? Can you get a sense of it?
Yeah, I think I've been like today. I did that to avoid doing the actual tasks. Like I actually have to do something else important. But instead of doing that, I feel like, okay, I don't want to think about them, like to avoid this feeling of stress.
But then if we can see that what we're looking for is a feeling of peace that does not disappear ever, no matter whether we're doing our taxes or laundry or in meditation, it doesn't matter, right? It's if you can then, okay, what I really want is not really to watch TV, but to feel peace, as the example. And then I can look for that inside. Is it true it's not here right now? If I assume it's not, then I'm going to go searching for it. And it's going to be impossible for me to find it in a permanent way, peace, because I'm assuming, and I am the infinite, all-powerful consciousness, just like you. If you assume it's not here, you won't feel it. So just the stopping and asking, is that true, actually, that peace is absent? Even if there's a lot of disturbance going on inside, something starts to change there. And I found that everything that I was addicted to fell away over time when I was looking like this. What I really want, what everyone really wants, is to feel peaceful, free, and safe. Really, we don't have many complex desires like that, really. That's just kind of what we want. We want to feel a certain way, no matter what the body's doing, right? Wherever it is.
It's true. It's always that certain feelings, the nice feelings that we are seeking.
So just whatever it is that's challenging, from relationships, we look for certain feelings. You need to make me feel safe, loved, wanted, or something. Can I find that within myself instead? Is it true I actually need something external to make me feel that way? Then we can enjoy our relationships without this push-pull that goes on all the time. Or the push-pull with the TV. I like watching TV, but I'm doing too much of it. Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good questions today. Thanks. It brings us just about up to time. Thank you so much, everyone, for your wonderful, wonderful questions and conversations. I really appreciate your presence here. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful month until I see you again here in the sanctuary. And thank you so much, Shauna, as always, for being such a beautiful host. Thank you. I'll hand it back to you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.